So you might remember a few days ago I covered the removal flights Priti Patel had planned and how activist lawyers had blocked some of the 40 from being taken by the now common trick of bogging down the government in legal nonsense. Well, it's happened again. These low-life activist lawyers use our dumb laws to exploit the system and waste untold amounts of taxpayers' money while scheming to get criminals the right to stay in the UK. It would appear they had a new drive ready to go and lodged appeals for every single illegal immigrant on the flights like they possibly had some inside information or real-time help from low-life scum at the Home Office. It really would not surprise me in the slightest. This has forced Priti Patel into cancelling the charter flights, though more are planned but could well see the same fate until the law is changed, of course. Now, these lawyers also got a bit salty because the Home Office released a tweet and video calling out these activist lawyers before they were forced to delete it and backtrack as usual with the Home Office. But the Telegraph picked up on this shit show with the headline, Priti Patel abandons deportation flight after multiple last-minute legal challenges. Priti Patel was forced to abandon a deportation flight returning illegal Channel migrants to Spain on Thursday after human rights lawyers mounted last-minute legal actions. Sources said the Home Office has been hit by so many last-minute legal claims that it had no option but to pull the flight, which would have returned 23 illegal migrants who had reached the UK on small boats from France. It came as the Home Office was embroiled in a row with lawyers over a video it posted on attempts to remove migrants from the UK, in which it said current regulations are allowing activist lawyers to delay and disrupt returns, which, as you all know, is 100% factually correct. It can be proved every single day. We hear more and more about these activist lawyers screaming and shouting about how the government is this and that. Ms Patel, the Home Secretary, is planning to overhaul asylum laws, which she has reportedly claimed are being exploited by lefty Labour supporting lawyers who are doing everything to stop the government removing people, which is not really a claim. It's hardly up for debate at this point. I will bet your bollocks to a barn dance right now none of these lawyers are Tory supporters or support any other party, with the exception of course of the Liberal Democrats, who are just as scummy as the Labour Party. She is working on a Fair Borders bill to be introduced this year, which would stop people drawing out the asylum applications process by making them declare all their grounds for refugee status when they apply, rather than being able to submit new reasons later, which is what they do and likely how they use this legal system to fuck the government over and stop them being deported. Being able to submit new reasons later is what they will use to get these human rights lawyers the way to stop the process from going and stop the planes from flying. Hence why they're all last-minute legal challenges. She is understood to be furious at the recent legal attempts to stop Britain clamping down on dangerous migrant crossings in the English Channel by ensuring those who attempt it are returned to the first country in which they arrived and where they should have applied for asylum. A Whitehall source said there was 100% legal attrition rate on the flight due to unprecedented and organised casework barriers sprung up on the government by law firms. We have lots more planned over coming weeks and months. It's not going to deter us. And so it shouldn't. But these firms need to be called out. Why don't you name and shame them is what I want to know. The Madrid authorities had agreed to take back the migrants who had passed through Spain on their attempted journey to Britain. Under the Dublin Agreement, EU countries accept back migrants if it can be shown it was their first port of entry to the EU where they should have applied for asylum. The illegal migrants' lawyers were, however, able to bog down the process in legal quagmire according to the Whitehall Insider, which didn't really need a Whitehall Insider at the end of the day. It's kind of common knowledge that these Labour-loving lefty tosspot lawyers are doing this on a regular basis. Let's be real here, they have been doing it for many years now. It is thought they would have claimed breaches under European Convention on Human Rights, including their rights to a family life, on the basis that they may have claimed relatives in the UK, which is just fucking bollocks. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you've got relatives, it doesn't give you the right to break the law, come over there and then expect to live there as you please. I've got relatives in a few other countries, can I just go and live over there with them? No, of course I fucking can't, it's just lunacy. Lawyers are increasingly using modern slavery legislation to claim that they are victims of traffickers rather than illegal migrants in order to claim a right to live in the UK, which explains why the media run around and talk about the traffickers these people are paying to get over here, rather than the fact that these criminal migrants have the money to actually pay it, which shows they are not destitute and really didn't need to leave wherever they lived. If you got enough money to pay tens of thousands of pounds to travel from wherever you live to the UK or anywhere in Europe, then let me tell you, you will likely never qualify as an asylum seeker or refugee. A Home Office spokesman said the government's efforts efforts to facilitate entirely legitimate and legal returns of people who have entered the UK through illegal routes are too often frustrated by last-minute challenges submitted hours before a scheduled flight. These claims are very often baseless and entirely without merit, but are given full legal consideration, leading to removals being rescheduled. This can effectively result in the timing out of a return due to the stringent Dublin regulations. Well, 80-seat majority, fucking scrap it now. At the end of the day, the Tory government has a massive majority. It needs to start fucking using it. Surely there is some level of power given to the government to protect the fucking country. This is kind of common sense. The legal battle came less than 24 hours after the Home Office published a video on Wednesday evening which showed a graphic of planes leaving the UK with the caption, "We are working to remove migrants with no right to remain in the UK." But currently, return regulations are rigid and open to abuse, which allow activist lawyers to delay and disrupt returns, which we have just seen from all of what we've read already. Lawyers branded it an assault on the rule of law using divisive and deceptive language. No, use law are an assault on the rule of law by allowing criminals to get away with breaking the law and then give them the fucking right to stay here at our expense, you cunts. These people really piss me off. Jonathan Tosspot, a professor of economics at King's College London, complained to Matthew Rycroft, permanent secretary at the Home Office, about the video. In a post on Twitter, Professor Wangstein quoted Mr. Rycroft's response as, "I agree, the phrase you quote should not have been used on an official government channel." And the rest of it there's just them moaning about the clip. I don't really care about that. None of it actually fucking matters. I'm sure absolutely none of you care about the feelings of these Labour-loving, lefty tosspot lawyers that are doing this shit and costing us all thousands of pounds. So it would seem, despite pretty piss poor Patel doing far too much talking and not enough acting, when she does actually act, you get Labour-loving, lefty lawyers trying to stop her from doing her job and protecting this country from illegal immigrants invading it like they have been. Obviously, she needs to do much more, and the Home Office need to start naming and shaming these are Wangsteins that are doing it.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors. Slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.